Okay, I wanted to do a quick live session. My screen's just decided to jump around on me a little bit, so I'm just going to ignore everything at the moment and just kind of get through some talking points. I would ask that you share this video. So I am running for Board of Education for school, for St. Joe Schools in Michigan. And our platform is primarily about parental rights. We want to protect the best interests of our students, and to do that, we have to ensure fundamental parental rights are protected. So something hit me yesterday. I was talking to a single mom, and she was talking about shared custody. She was talking about how she co-parents with the father of the children, and how everything is going well, and they both have the best interest of the children in mind, and they are looking out for the health and well-being of their kids. I love hearing when parents are effectively teaming to meet the needs of their kids. So one thing struck me during the conversation was that neither of them can make a medical decision for the child without knowledge and consent of the other parent. And so when they're co-parenting as the parents of the children, they have to be on the same page with everything, with health and well-being, emotional things that are happening, academic things that are happening, sports that are happening, and as the parents, that's their job, that's their role. But they could not make a medical decision without the knowledge or consent of the other parent. That is how the courts have things arranged when you're co-parenting. One parent cannot make medical decisions on behalf of the children without the knowledge and consent of the other parent. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, this struck me that that's exactly what Proposal 3 is doing. So Proposal 3 here in Michigan gives the government and the schools rights that are beyond what you would have in a shared custody situation, beyond what parental rights would have in a shared custody situation. That just completely blew my mind. And so if you are not aware of what Proposal 3 would do in Michigan, basically it's completely trampling on parental rights. And so I have 3 quick examples I would like to share about what Proposal 3 would allow for, that to me as a mom first and an educator, I cannot even believe that this is a conversation that we're having. So the first point is about suicidal thoughts or suicidal threats. So if your child has suicidal conversations of suicide, as it stands right now, districts are supposed to disclose that to the parents. Of course, rightfully so. Your child is having some kind of suicidal thoughts or conversations. Parents need to be included in that conversation. I think any rational parent would agree with that, you need to know what's happening with your kids. If Proposal 3 passes, they do not have to tell you. So you may not even know that your child is struggling with some kind of situation, and they don't have to tell you. And they're protected if they don't tell you. And to me, that's a huge overstep of boundaries. That's not okay. Parents need to know what's happening with their children so that we can keep them safe. They're our kids. The second point is teenage pregnancy. So this is not about pro-life or pro-choice. That's got nothing to do with this. This has to do with parental rights. So if you have, I have 3 daughters. If you have a daughter and she becomes pregnant, regardless of how that happens, it happens. Sometimes kids are reckless, sometimes worse things. That is a family issue. That is a parenting issue. If you have parents that are co-parenting their kids, one parent cannot take that child for any kind of medical treatment without knowledge and consent of the other parent. If Proposal 3 passes, the school not only can provide counseling and conversations and things like that, they can take your child for health care, for medical treatment, and for an abortion without your knowledge or consent. And I don't even, how does this even happen? That this is a conversation we even need to have. I'm very close with my daughters. They tell me a lot of things in their life. As their mother, my job is to ensure their health and well-being, not the school's. And so this is a huge, huge overstep over parental rights. And that is what we are running on. So for anybody who is suggesting that there's no overstep of parental rights, I think the fact that this proposal even made it to a ballot is a pretty good indication that we have a problem with an overstep, a government and school district overstepping those boundaries of parental rights. That is the job of the parents and the family to support our children, not the job of the school. And you know what? As an educator, I never would have wanted to be in that role. I never would have wanted to be in the position where I am having conversations with students that are a big, big deal and excluding the parents from those conversations. That's absolutely insane to me. And then the third point of this bill is if your child is confused and struggling with who they are, maybe they're experiencing some gender dysphoria. They are trying to figure out, it's normal in adolescent years for kids to figure out their identity. That is a normal thing. That is also a time for families and parents to support their kids and make decisions and help them in the best interest of their children. That is not the job of our government or our educators. And I think rational educators would agree with me on this point. That is not my job as a teacher to make decisions or help your child make those decisions without your knowledge or consent. But that's exactly what this proposal does. If your child is struggling with gender dysphoria and is confused about who they are, the districts can provide counseling and can take medical can make medical decisions and take them for medical treatments without the knowledge or consent of parents. That also includes things like hormones and puberty blockers. And I've heard people say puberty blockers can be undone. No, they cannot. No, they cannot. I'm going to link in the comments, I'm going to link a group that some may say, oh, you guys are haters out there. No, we're not haters. We believe that consenting adults can do whatever they want, as long as they're not hurting people and outside of the realm of influence of our children. They can't come into our schools and influence our kids. So I will link a really fantastic group that is calling this stuff out. And that group includes people who have gone through these hormone treatments and have regretted it and has said, why didn't anybody protect me? And those, again, are decisions that should come down to the parents. These are parental rights. The schools have no business providing medical treatment to our kids. In a shared custody situation, we are giving away more of our rights to the government and to the school than you would have in a shared custody situation. That just blew my mind. I can't even believe it. Our platform is to protect parental rights on behalf of our minor children. This isn't a partisan issue. School board candidates are nonpartisan for good reason, because we need to look out for the best interests of our kids. We're not political pawns. Our children are not political pawns. We are parents A lot of us are educators. Many of us are professionals. We're not, misinformed, knuckle dragging, crazies. We are looking out to protect the best interest of our kids and to protect our rights as parents. I never signed up when I had 4 children to co-parent my children with the government or with their school. I co-parent with my husband, the father of my kids, and that's the way that it should be. One last little thing that I would like to say before I sign off. This would be a plea for teachers. There have been a lot of times in the classroom when things would come down, or policies that would come down, or administrative decisions that would come down, and that maybe bothered me. I'd get a little knot in my stomach. You know what I'm talking about. That knot in your stomach where you say, oh my gosh, what is this? And what do? You close your classroom door, you push it out, you push it to the side, you love your kids, and you teach them. And so I'm asking teachers, I know I've seen stuff that has come down that's pushing for this. I'm asking you to think about what's happening. There has to be a time where you have to stand up for the right thing. And the right thing is not to give this kind of power to our schools and to our government. And, I think a lot of people know that. This isn't some crazy, frantic, angry response. This is us saying, let's talk about this rationally. Let's think about what's happening. Let's think about what we are giving up, fundamental parental rights, and there comes a point where we have to say no. Even if that's what's being pushed and pushed and pushed upon you. You guys have a voice. You're a powerful group. You are caught in the middle of all of this. It's a hot mess right now. We love you. We support you. We know that you care about our children. You got into education because you care about kids and you want to serve them and you want to provide the best quality education. I always called my students my school family. You are a family. You spend a lot of time with these kids and you love them. And we want to empower you to do your job without all of this other nonsense, and we want you to advocate for your students by advocating for their parents for the sake of the best interest of your kids. And that's it. So kind of fast and furious. I would ask for anybody who agrees with this video or supports this video, please share it. Talk about this. These are conversations that are great to have in a rational way. And point out the custody thing. That was such a mind-blowing thing when that hit me at 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh my gosh, we are giving away more rights than the courts would give parents in a shared custody situation. It's just crazy. So thank you for your support. I would like to ask, if you live in St. Joe Public Schools, ask for you to consider voting for me. My platform is Parental Rights, Best Interest of Our Kids, and supporting, working together and supporting each other. Enough of the backbiting and it's just gotten so ugly and so hateful. That's not what I'm about. I'm about partnering with parents, partnering with educators, partnering with administrators to meet the needs of our kids. And hopefully you can see that. Thanks so much. Visit our website or our Facebook group if you want more information. I'm going to actually link a phone number on there. Happy to sit down and answer any questions that anybody has. Have a great day.